Thank you, Dr. Som, for a kind introduction. So today, my job was to introduce standard, what is the drug discovery process, and another thing is more highlight on the fragment-based drug discovery. Then followed by more focus will be the other speakers with the artificial intelligence. So moreover, I will be focusing on fragment-based drug discovery. So this slide is related to the standard drug discovery process. How it starts. The start is the different target, whether it's enzyme or protein or any target you selection, and you have to generate new ideas by computational or taking the natural product as a core moiety. Then going to find out testing to the heat compounds. After getting the heat compounds, you have to optimize the lead to get the lead compounds. Once you get the lead compound, then you have to do drug likeness and other parameters, toxicity, many preclinical studies. So after preclinical studies, all okay, then you decided to go for the clinical candidate, and that will be phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So at least 10 to 15 years is the standard process for this the drug discovery. Okay. So this is the standard diagram that we start with combinatorial chemistry or natural products, take different scaffolds and screen out by high throughput screening, and by taking a specific target or enzymes, then read optimization, then toxicity in animals, and clinical trial human and medicine. This is the just pictorial diagram. And one standard rule what we follow, Lipinski, that is from Pfizer, he provided drug-like properties. It is called rule of 5, and molecular weight should be less than 500, and hydrogen bond should be less than 10, acceptor should be less than 10, and the sum of nitrogen and oxygen, those are hydrogen bond acceptor, should be less than 10, and donor should be also less than 5. So log p value which define the lipophilicity of any compound, because our cell wall is lipophilic in nature, so that is a parameter we must consider. So C log we define the lipophilicity, so it is C. The next another thing comes up is the lead likeness. So that is linked to our fragment-based drug discovery. In that case, it is called rule of 3. It's not rule of 5. We call it rule of 3. So in case of molecular weight, you are going to start from a fragment. It's not the final molecule. So in that case, the molecular weight should be approximately 300. And hydrogen bond acceptor and the nitrogen oxygen should be less than 3. And lipophilicity should be less than C log P less than 3. So low to high affinity for the target receptor, because this is just a fragment we are starting with. So in that, again, you have to modify the molecule. So we cannot take very high molecular weight in initially. So in that case, rule of 3 is applied, not the rule of 5. So this is in standard process, high throughput screening, they do at least 1 million. They have to start from 1 million compounds, and then tentatively 2000 or 1000 to 2000 hits molecules they have to find out. Then lead molecules 200 you have to find out. Then finally drug candidate 10. It's not necessary company will go with the only one molecule when we targeting any target for the drug discovery, because then it may fail. So what they will do in companies is they will take different scaffolds type, because suppose you take one gradually, for example, suppose for target you get from toxicity. If you have all any series of molecules, all the quinoline moiety, all will have failed in the toxicity. You may have maybe quinoline derivatives. Some of them also select by taking the target. So drug candidate they can take at least 10, but finally it will reach up to the only one molecule to the patient or clinic. So that is a standard process of this high throughput screening. So the next comes is the fragment based to make it easier. So scientists thought that to make it, why don't you start with a fragment? So this is a fragment. What I say it is rule 3 applied in that case. So that uses small and relatively simple molecules to make lead compounds. So take a fragment, take a target enzyme or protein or any target, check the different methods, testing methods, and after checking the affinity, the fragments you can merge, different parts you can merge it, you can expand it, or any other way. Then you make it the bigger molecule, other like affinity or the toxicity or efficacy or any other, depending on that permutation and combination you have to do it and merge and expand. Finally, molecule. So starts not only start from beginning like normal process, all very big molecules. You start from a fragment, small molecule. So what is the fragment in this drug discovery? We call it a fragment. So a fragment is just like a small weak hit. So it can be start from a small molecule across the 100 molecule or less than that, and it not necessary it should show initially very strong binding affinities, very good activities. It may have at least some activity. It can be considered as a weak hit. Okay. So by assay, by different assay methods, testing method, we can detect what is the binding reliability, whether we are getting any binding affinity or not. Okay. So if you're getting, then what we'll do by different fragments library, you have to make a library of the molecule, or you can use an library. Similar molecules is reported that existing library, or you develop, some companies develop their own libraries to develop it. So design of library include concept of assay and the evolution. So start from 250 or 300 molecular weight, then heat compounds we move towards it. It can be up to 500 or less than Lipinski rule of 5. Then get lead molecules. So the down we can see initially it is one standard example is given. So fragment may have that affinity of 10 millimolar concentration. So when you go to scaffold, it goes to micromolar, 100 micromolar. To lead compound, it goes to 1 micromolar. So slowly the your potency is increasing. Initially, though it is 10 millimolar. So initially, weak binding is also acceptable, but it should have some binding affinity. You can detect which site it is binding, then you can modify the molecule. So he hits from fragments, find small parts that binds, then grow or merge the fragments to create a heat compound. So we have to first find out where it is binding, the binding sites or binding affinities, then grow or merge that fragment to create a heat compound. Can also generate ideas, to optimize key interaction motifs, suggest interacts to exploit in heat or lead optimization. So these are pictorial diagram to understand better way. So first you take the left hand side, you can see first that this target can be protein or enzyme. Then how you will get the heat from the fragments? You have to use by different methods. So it can be your differential scanning fluorimetry. It can be weak affinity chromatography, or it can be X-ray methods, or it can be NMR methods. By different methods, you have to check with the enzyme or target of whether binding is happening or not. Okay. So once we check it binding affinities, we can screen out some. So this, for example, we have taken here 1500 to 2000 molecules, not like HTS. We are starting from 1 million. So you can use some existing library or your own knowledge, like rational knowledge or natural product fragments. So different small fragments you can screen out by using different testing methods, fluorimetry, weak affinity photography, or X-ray or NMR. So once you testing from that, you will get some heat molecules. So once you get the heat molecules, again virtual screening will be done. So on that case, what will happen is you will try to optimize heat molecules. So what I told in the last slide, so it can be merging or growing or combining two fragments. So that means that it will be optimization of that fragment. So that means you have to grow molecular weight by considering different affinities with different target amino acid or any targets. So fragment to heat by structure activity relationship, then we have to find out by NMR, X-ray guided, you have to make a binding model. If you already see that binding model is existing by some co-crystal someone has done, or you have to generate by yourself some model, and you have to check your molecule with the target. Then fragment to heat molecules and structure activity relationships, you have to do, then by catalog off-rate screening you have to do, and finally you will get your build a set of lead molecules. So this is one example and a case study we have taken by fragment design HSP90, which is a target for cancer drug molecule. How it is developed by using the fragment-based drug design. We can see this only simple one molecule and heterocyclic molecule they have started, VER26734. So IC50 is just 5 micromilimolar concentration. So they have checked initially. You can see that diagram of this where the interaction is happening. And so initially it is just by testing the method they found out it is just millimolar, but still 5 millimolar, and they could find the binding site. They feel that it can be also lead molecules. Okay, so next molecule you can see that they have optimized like BioSST in place of oxygen, that alkyl chain they have modified the sulfur, and here one ether is there, he make it amide. So there itself it goes to from millimolar to micromolar concentration. So he got something from by this fragment, so they tried to modify the BioSST sequence. Then after that, what is the they did some virtual screening and tried to merge it or expand the molecule. You can see this. Next, he taken one biphenyl molecule. That same amine is there. Next biphenyl molecule, he has taken downside. He has taken some diazo compound. He has taken, that is the expanding or merging with another fragment. And expanding and merging, he sees IC50 value goes to 1.5 micromolar concentration. So from that we can see, so it moved towards this direction from 5 millimolar to 1.5 micromolar concentration. So this is, he just started from one simple molecule, but he got some binding affinities, initially some results. So then they try to optimize it and go to reach up to the 1.5 micromolar concentration. So this is the target for HSP 90, which is a target for the anti-cancer drug development. This is published in JMC 2009. So next is what are the different methods available to check it whether the binding affinity is happening or not. That is the initial. When you check any fragment, really you have to check it with the target enzymes or proteins is happening or not. These are the different methods. It can be your X-ray crystallography. It can be protein osmoid NMR or ligand-based NMR. It can be. That generally the structural biology people will come to the picture. They will do those kind of studies. Chromatography, weak affinity chromatography, SPR, which is standard methods, surface plasmon resonance methods, you have to use it, and different enzyme or binding assays to get the IC50 values, or mass spectroscopy you can do that isolate the whether your product is binding the protein or not. You can isolate and check the mass spectroscopy also. Then isothermal calorimetry, ITC, is also one method to check the binding is happening or not. So these are the different analytical techniques is available to check whether binding is happening or not. So that is the first stage. After checking the fragment, you have to do these analytical techniques, how the binding is happening or not. So this is the graph. On the y-axis is your relative molecular weight of the fragments or drug molecules. Right side is your efficacy or potential of the molecules. So you start from fragment, you can see 200 to 300. Then it go to lead optimization. It go reach up to drug candidate or drug molecule by 500 molecular weight. We start from micromolar concentration, it reach to up the 10 nanomolar. This is just graphical representation from fragment to reach of the drug molecule. Okay, so this is one more example. What is the basic difference between for conventional and fragment-based drug design? The right side part you can see it is a fragment-based drug design. You start from that heterocyclic molecules, and you can see that is only 100 micromolar concentration. Later on, they try to merge it. These two molecules, you can see they have merged it, and they have attached by another ring. The azide is there, alkyne is there. They make attached by making the triazole. So when they make it triazole, this is just binding or merging of the two fragments. So first they study the affinity of these two, whether it is happening or not. After happening, these two has some activities. They try to merge it and find the better molecules. So it starts from a fragment and reach up to the lead molecule. Yeah, the same similar molecules. One more is there. You start from 100 micromolar Kd values, and when you merge it, that molecule with another fragments, by your first analytical study, then computational studies both, they find it that KD value goes up to 6.5 micromolar. So 100 to 6.5. This is just graphical representation fragment. You can see it should be 300. What we discussed that it should be less than 300 molecular weight, and the hydrogen bond should be accept donor should be less than 3, acceptor should be 3, because we have to again expand the molecule. So this is a graphical example, like your binding pocket is there, small molecule is binding here, and that may not be enough to show any agonist or antagonist activity. You have to expand the molecule. So it is expanded. You can see with another fragments, if amide bond, and if uranium is there, thiophene is there, then morpholine is piperazine is there. So they expand by taking other fragments. So this is a graphical representation that it should be only fitting to the one pocket or binding site. It may not be enough to show any agonist or antagonist activity. So we should expand the molecule. Yeah, the same molecule here, we starting from IC50 value is 1.3 millimolar concentration, and it has hydrogen bond donors 2, one nitrogen and oxygen, and then it has hydrogen acceptor 3, and the nitrogen oxygen, hydrogen bond donors, it has NH2 2 are there. So they start from like rule of 3. And now is the final molecule. We can see this. It goes from millimolar 1.3 millimolar to protein kinase inhibitor. It has 65 nanomolar concentration. But here they have again increased the hydrogen bond donors and acceptors. Hydrogen bond donors, we can see here 2 and 3. 3 are there, and hydrogen acceptors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Though it is 5, rule of 5 is it should be 5. Some cases it can go a little out of boundary. So here it has little hydrogen bond acceptor, it has more, but donor is within the rule of 5. So these are the common drug fragments. We should understand what are the, when you start the drug list, we should know what are the common drug fragments we should do. So these are different heterocyclics which is reported that this can be considered before starting any drug discovered by fragment technology. This is published, I take from JMC 2005. So these are different heterocyclics like piperidine attached to the phenyl ring with amine attachment. You can take piperazine. You can take morpholine also. You can take to like imidazole system, quinazoline system, different. Then from amide you can take, and in place of amide you can take imines, you can take sulfonamides, you can take. So these are the different side chains you can take as the starting point for your fragment-based drug discovery. Okay, so I take one more example because now we understand what is the fragment. We start from a small molecule, and at least it may not be very high affinity. It may be some affinity should be there, and it should be defined by experimental enzymatic assays or by different NMR or fluorimetry test. And we know that though it's weak binding, it's to we identify what are the binding pockets. Then we screen with other, try to generate a library of different fragments for the target. Then you try to merge it or expand it and to find a better one. You start from micromolar, it may go to, it can start from millimolar, it can go to micro or nanomolar concentration. So this is one more tyrosine kinase. I take one example, how the tyrosine kinase is a signaling pathway within cells leading to cell proliferation, differentiation, migration, and metabolic changes. So for this target, one example I take it. So these are different for the target. They found these are the different fragments which can be started with. You can see first is the diphenyl ether. One imine is there, and here they have merged. They have not taken diphenyl ether. They have merged to taken two phenyl links merged together, and same imine. You can see imine is there, and here they have one 6-member with 5-member ring. Another thing, the 6-member, 5-member attached by sulfonamide. And this is only one 6-member here with amine attached. They have attached. So these are the 5-member also they have taken thiophene system, and so these are the different fragments can be considered while developing that SLC kinase inhibitor. this starts. So this is the starting point when the scientists started with this kind of fragments. So out of fragments, so they find one fragment. You can see compound number 7. It is 41 micromolar. That is the activity of this by enzymatic assay. They find it 41 micromolar. They screen out a lot of fragments, and they found that compound number 7 has the 41 micromolar. They found another also molecule which is having 40 micromolar concentration Ki value. Okay, so you see compound number 7, it has 41, 16, 40, and 7 and 16. You can see that he merged it 7 and 16. You can see. So he has taken one that tricyclic ring, and he is another phenyling with the enzyme system. So what he did, the next step is after getting some activity 2, he finds some binding affinity, merge it, and then he go. It is, you can see 0.064 micromolar concentration. You start from 40, another is 41, but when you merge it, the binding affinity is best to the pocket, and you go up to 0.064 micromolar concentration. So he merged it next step. So after binding, we take first he took the different fragments, then he studied the activity, find it, then he merged it and find the higher affinity. Start from 42, it will go to 0.064 micromolar. So similarly, he changed the linker. You can see one is N is 2, N is 3, 4, 5, 6. In between the linker, he has modified. You can see the best one is he got N is 2, because this is like optimize the lead. Once he got the lead, now he know he got 0.064. He tried to optimize it. Then different linkers they have attached, different aliphatic chains or cyclohexyl chains, different linkers they have attached by attaching. But still he could find that linker having straight chain N number 2 is 0.064 micromolar, the highest so far they got it. So that was the example of a SRC, how he developed. Start from a just simple fragment and he merge it, and hyperspinning he go up to the 0.064 micromolar. This is another example how is matrix metalloproteinase. He just simply taken an amide and he find it 17 Kd value millimolar. He take another biphenyl with the cyano, he got 0.2 millimolar. And you see the surprising what he did. This biphenyl cyano, he attached this amide just by one linker. He increased to the 57 nanomolar. Okay, first he attached it, then he optimized the linker. He go from 0.2 millimolar to the 57 nanomolar. So this is the power of this fragment-based drug design, which is helping. No need to take a lot of molecules starting from very big and screen it by high throughput screening. So these are the some examples I have cited how they have done it. One is HSP proteins, and another I have taken metal enzymes, and another I have taken SRC. Protein tyrosine kinase inhibitors. So starting, I have taken some examples how they start from this and reach up to the fragment design. So I I will not take much time. I will just summarize. So this is fragment-based drug design is just instead of taking high throughput screening to lot of 1 million compound, we start from small fragments by your company's own library or software or any natural product, small started. Do the screening by different analytical methods with the target by X-ray or ITC or chromatography. Then find the different fragments and then merge it or expand it the molecules. Then again, how will merge it? First, you have to check what are the different binding sites and what are binding pockets, or you can develop your own model by NMR, X-ray, or co-crystals, and then you expand the molecule, find the best molecule. So this is just to reduce your workload by instead of taking high throughput screening, you can load the start a fragment base. So this is also after high throughput screening. This is also one of the key areas drug discovery scientists, not only academicians and companies, are doing This is the drug molecule evolved for HSP90, what I say. This was developed by fragment-based design, 0.9 micromolar. This is the molecule. And another LuminSP or Vernalis, it is in phase 2. Obviously now it is very long back, it is already in phase 3. So these are the developed by fragment-based drug design. And so I will summarize with this. Any question on this, I will welcome. Thank you.